Everyone, it's Heidi. So let's go over how to set up a meeting with your student, not just right away, just maybe later on in the day or next or tomorrow, or if we have to use certain features. All right, so I'm going to set up a new meeting. I'm going to add the title, meeting with, and of course the student's name. I'm going to add the student. My student for today is going to be Miss Jeffries. And I'm going to type the reason why, to review or to go over problem. And then once I feel as though everything's good, the time, the date, everything looks good, I'm going to press send. Here's my meeting. It's in my calendar. I'm going to press on the meeting, and here are my defaults. There it is, meeting with student. My defaults are up here. I also have other options. Here's a whiteboard, okay? I'm going to show you the whiteboard in a second. Let's say it's almost time for me to meet the student. Actually, it is. It's 12:19. I'm meeting with the student at 12:30, so maybe this would be the time to get ready. This will give me time to set up the camera, make sure that I'm monitoring the sound, background noise, all that, making sure that I've positioned myself and the environment in a way that is professional for the student, limiting distraction. I'm going to press join now. Once I'm here, I can also prepare other things. Like for instance, if I need to make that outside call and include someone outside, maybe the parent is working and the parent would like to be involved. Or I need to record. So I can press record. So let's say the student joined and we're talking to the student and you say, okay, let me see that problem. Now the student can, of course, if you're using a camera, can show you what he did on, show you, put the paper up against the camera and let you see it. Another option is both you and the student could do this. Both of you would follow this step. You could press calendar. You can go to your meeting on that calendar and look at those defaults again. You can go to whiteboard. And in our whiteboard, we can both see at the same time the same thing. So let's say you ask your student to jot the problem down. Now, one thing that I would suggest, especially for these math teachers, is ask your student to use a stylus. You would do the same. The stylus you use, I would recommend, is not the real tight rubber, more of the kind that slippery. The rubber kind of just catches. Also, before you go on to write on the screen, warm up your stylus a little bit. It does take a little practice. It does have to, you do have to be positioned just right to be able to do this. I think with the students, they've got their laptop, it's a little easier. As a math teacher, if you were doing this and having to write problems, I would suggest that you position yourself in a way that you can comfortably write on the whiteboard. So let's say the student writes a problem down. So the student is doing y. All right, let's say, you're watching the student. You're like, okay, that's the problem. And then the student moves on. And then they go, okay. And you see what they just did. From there, you can say, okay, all right, what I see is that we kind of forgot that negative, explain why. And then you can say, and that would do what? What would that do to your y? It would turn it into whatever discussion you would have with that student, right? So this will give you that opportunity to show your student how to do the problem correctly. It's real time. It is, I know I've said this to many, it is a game changer.